Welcome to a new podcast, the Boundless Podcast, where we have a relaxed conversation about school, studying, and gaming. We should introduce ourselves first. So we're juniors in high school taking the IB, and this is our first episode. We will be talking about some of our favorite study techniques and having a conversation about what we think about them. Also discuss some study tips we find useful. All right. You want to start off?
Okay, yeah, sure. So, one of the main study thing which I personally find useful is whatever I study in school, reading it after school. So
Definitely, yeah.
it's a revision of what's going on, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like for a subject like physics. Like
Right.
like God,
Exactly.
we have like it's like we don't do too many numericals at school. Like we can explain how to solve them, but like doing them at home will actually like help so much.
Exactly.
It's like even for math actually, like maybe not as much for other subjects. Like we still obviously have to do it for other subjects, but for math and physics especially, like it helps a lot.
Yep. Especially all this is such an give practice questions.
Exactly, yeah. Really just gets it like into a long-term memory, and that helps a lot. That's really
Yep.
important with IB because like we legit have like exams like 2 years after.
Exactly. And I also find it very important for to understand the GDC itself, like how the GDC works, the graphic display
Mhm.
calculator,
Yeah,
because
yeah, definitely. I mean,
especially
we
for
haven't.
maths.
Yeah, that's right. Haven't gone too in depth in it, but like I still find the equation solver like it's almost like hacking.
And and on top of that, I see that most of the questions actually could be checked on solved on the GDC itself.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, like we have to show all the steps if we want to get like a perfect score, but like we can easily just like check with GDC like the base equation form.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
one. That's amazing.
yeah, that's true. Right. We went slightly off topic, but let's see. Okay, I'll come up with a study tip. Okay, so one thing I do is I use Pomodoro technique a lot. So like the original form is just like 25 minutes of studying, 5 minute break, and you pretty much keep doing that. And after 4 cycles, you take a 15-minute break. Uh, and then that's not what I do. Like if you're just getting started, it's a very good practice. I usually do 60 minutes studying, 10 minutes break, and I go on like that. So I don't take a 15-minute break after 4 cycles. So
So that doesn't make you feel tired or anything after.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Because like
that's
25 minutes is just too less time to really do anything. Like I probably just finished like one complex physics problem or something. Like it's really not enough time for me to like get in the zone and get like really focused on what I'm working on.
Yep, that's pretty useful too. I personally just take a subject and I just try to finish it, but I don't
Yeah,
think so
that's
that
true. Yeah,
that
yeah, that's also good because the thing is like the more you change your topics, the more you get yourself out of the zone, which is not good. And that's something I do a lot because especially like after school when I revise everything, I need to like revise whatever we did, right? So then so we have like 4 periods a day, at least in my school. So that means I'll have to revise like 4 subjects after I come back. So that means I'll have to like change my subject 4 times a day, which really gets me out of zone. So if you like focus on only one subject a day, that'll actually help.
yep, especially for something like IB where each subject has a lot of complex information and
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
lot of stuff and notes, especially the number of notes they give.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have another technique which I find useful is focusing in class. Like whatever the teachers tell, they
Oh
give a
yeah,
lot of
definitely.
shortcuts.
Oh
They
yeah,
give a lot of
definitely.
tips.
Like especially like one thing I found very useful for English. Shout out to my English teacher if you're listening. But like, my English teacher gave so many tips for English paper 1, uh, for the test, and it was so useful. Like if I didn't listen in those classes, I would have probably got like 3 marks off in like my last paper. So yeah, definitely to anyone listening, You guys should really like pay attention in class, and literally half of your work's done. You won't have to study so much at home.
Yep,
It's just
everything just
revising
flows
the
natural.
concepts.
Yep, it
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
flows natural. Like it
Plus,
just
like
gets
while you're
stuck.
reading, you're like, oh wait, we did that in class.
Yep, it just enhances the understanding all on the.
Yeah, definitely. It's like even for like math and physics, like once you do a topic in class, like there are example sums in some of the textbooks, right? Like
Yep,
if you like go through them, like that's another study technique. Like if you go through example sums right after class, it'll help you like so much. Like you really understand like what's going on behind the problems.
yeah. And another tip, like during the holidays, instead of like you like, it's a good idea to like revise what we all did throughout the
Mhm.
entire
Yeah,
week.
definitely. That's actually what I did these holidays. Like I didn't exactly go like really in depth, but I at least like went over the concept so that like it still stays in my mind, so that, like I know it exists.
Yep,
So yeah.
especially since in IB I've had teachers putting surprise tests, which is
Oh
which is
god.
another way.
We don't really have those. We just have coursework. Like no class tests pretty much.
Oh, my school does, so I feel it very beneficial in revising on the weekends. So I actually get
Yeah.
started
That's
for the
yeah.
next week.
Yeah, that's good. I should probably start doing that. Like just use like one uh, past concept and like revise it over the weekend. That will help a lot. Plus, considering I have Saturday and Sunday holiday, that shouldn't be a problem. You have Saturday school sometimes, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
but and the other thing is like like you could like the questions in like the question they get in class are a bit simple compared to the
Yeah,
very
I agree with that.
tricky
I agree
questions.
with that. Yeah, definitely. Like if you're in a curriculum like IB, you should probably like check up the official questions.
Yep, and
Yeah.
like
Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh yeah, so like we have like especially since it's like we have CAS and then IAs and all that, so it's always very good to be on up to date with what we're doing.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, because then the problem is like so in 12th we're anyways going to be like working on our IAs so much that we
Exactly.
might not even have like much time to like revise whatever past concepts we had to do. Like if we get them into long-term memory now, like that'll help so much.
Yeah, that's what I've had so many seniors. Like I've seen so many seniors complaining about like
Oh
how the
wow.
work is, and
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
so it's best to be prepared for
Yeah,
the long
I
term.
agree. One more thing I found very useful. Make sure you take breaks. Like don't take breaks every 5 minutes. Like no, don't do that. But let's say you're trying to study for a very long time, right? I was trying to do that over the holidays. Like I was trying to study for around 7 to 8 hours, which I could not do, but I was at least able to hit like
Yeah,
a five
that's
hour
very
mark.
difficult.
Yeah. But the
Uh,
thing is like taking breaks will help you like so much. Like don't do them every 5 minutes. Like but if you do it like every 1 hour or 2 hours, it really helps like reset your mind. And when you're taking the break, like don't scroll to Instagram or something. Like if you actually like walk around your house or something, it really helps a lot.
yep,
So
especially if you're
definitely
going
something.
outside and taking a good
Yeah,
fresh
I
breath of
agree.
air.
Yeah, I agree with that. Share is
Yep.
like always the best reset. Like whenever I'm feeling dreadful that I've like procrastinated some work or something, I just go down, switch that thought off, right? Like listen to my favorite music or whatever, and then once I come back home, it's like a complete reset. I can legit just go study and I'm like able to get into the zone really well.
Yeah, that's that. Even I like for me going outside and putting on my favorite music refreshes my mind.
Yeah, it's like a complete reset. Like however bad I'm feeling about like all the work I've procrastinated, like if I go down, it just resets, man. Like it's a huge reset. I don't know.
Yep.
It just helps a lot.
Even like this is very surprising, but another thing is whenever I wash my face, I feel like my mind is resetting
Yeah,
completely.
that's true. Yeah, like for me, like whenever I get sleepy, like if I wash my face, but for some reason I have to use a lot of water. I don't know why, but I have to use a lot of water, and then if I wash my face, yeah, I do feel much better.
Yeah, it just makes me feel much better.
Another thing, I take showers in the evening. I feel like that helps a lot too because like after school I feel really really tired. for some reason, even though it isn't like that tiring considering we're doing online school. Uh, Taking a shower just um, well, there's like research about this where if you do 30 seconds of cold shower and then 30 seconds of warm shower, back to 30 seconds of cold shower, it gets your blood flowing, right? So
Yeah.
I do that sometimes and it really helps, like if I have to go study again. Plus taking like evening naps, that helps a lot as well.
Yeah, like, and that's helpful for me too. Like, I personally love to be clean, and then like I need that, like any
Yeah,
sort of sweat on me, it just irritates me and then distracts me.
agreed. Yeah.
Yep. You have any more techniques?
Yeah, like one thing. So when you're studying, make sure you're not getting distracted. Like please do not keep your phone next to you. That's literally the way you guide yourself into procrastination because you check your phone, there's a notification. All right,
Yeah,
maybe I'll just see this one photo. Oh yeah, so you see that photo, it turns to a conversation, and then that conversation turns into you like watching some show or something, and then you like procrastinated all your work by the end of the day. So don't do that. Like chuck your phone across the room. I really said force. Physics is getting into me.
yep. And especially even on a laptop, I would encourage you guys, like, all these
Yeah, definitely.
social media apps, just close them out. And if you
Exactly.
have any app which can like lock you into that site which you just need, download that too.
Yeah, definitely. Like with social media, at least on PC, the thing is like there's a website for almost every social media app. So I only use the website, so that helps me a lot. It's like there's this plugin named Forest, which like blocks. So like you can choose whatever websites you want to block, and you can like turn it on for a certain duration. You can
That's
stop it obviously, but like you need to have some self control. You need to have patience to like not stop it. But yeah, I find it really useful. Like whenever like this happens, uh, like suppose I'm getting like really bored of studying, right? Uh, I'd almost like get out of the zone entirely. That I'll just like open my chats or whatever, right? And then when I see like the plugin overlay, I get reminded. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be studying right now. So that's something that helps me a lot as well.
Yeah, especially for me, in the start of my DP, I actually was like barely concentrated properly and just was scrolling through my phone
I
and all
agree.
that. And then
Yeah.
I realized that it was messing me up because I was
Mhm.
like seeing the immediate effects of low scores because DP is hard. It's a very rigorous
Mhm.
program.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
so like having self-control, training yourself to be like controlling and like able to study and revise
Agreed.
is very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. That's another thing. Always go depth over time, right? So you can say I can study like 12 hours a day. But like if your depth is at a zero, that's you're legit not gonna get anything by the end of the day. So definitely I would say choose depth over time and try to get as deep into what you're studying.
Yep,
It's
it's very
always the
important.
best thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like because
maximizing efficiency.
yeah, like if you're watching TV and doing work, like something that might take 4 hours long while you're watching TV might even take like just 1 hour or half an hour while you're like completely focusing. So that's something really important.
Yep. It's like very important to maximize that efficiency so that like you could be doing something else, right? It's just a waste of
Exactly. I
productive
agree.
time.
Yeah, I agree.
You could be like if you like my hobby is gaming, so like, I could just go play games instead of using that
Exactly.
time
Yeah.
on half-minded memorization or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
When you talk about gaming, that brings me to another thing I was thinking about. So it's like people think anything that isn't studying, like some people, they think it's a distraction, but I feel like that isn't always the case because people don't see the nourishment that distraction can give. Like you get what I'm saying? Like
Ah,
see, if the only thing I do is studying throughout the day, right? Like I have school till 2:45. Say from 2:45 to 8 o'clock I'm studying, I'm eating and sleeping, right? Like
yep.
that kind of life would be like so empty and like I wouldn't enjoy it, right? But the thing
Yep.
is, like, if you're doing things you like, you're going to be like way more motivated, even when it comes to studying. So I always make sure like I have 1 to 2 hours of doing things I like, whether that's like playing video games, watching shows, or talking to my family, or whatever. Really, like, just
Especially,
leave out 1 to 2 hours for going out, taking a walk, or like talking to someone, or doing anything you like.
especially like I use it like a reward. Like if I study this much time, I could go and game. Like it gives me a sense of accomplishment. Like I gain my reward.
I agree. Yeah, yeah. Like making rewards is another thing. It's like really really helpful. Like whenever sometimes, like I said, I do 60 minutes of study and then 10-hour break. But sometimes I have to go for a stretch, right? Like let's say I want to actually do 2 hours now. Then usually what I do is like once I'm done with this 2 hours, I'll watch an episode of my favorite show or something. So that usually gets me through it. Like keeping rewards after you're done studying is very important. It's really
Yep.
something that can get you through long hours.
And like something's motivated. Like you're motivated to do it. Like in the end, without
Exactly.
motivation.
Yeah. Especially
And
if it's like something you don't like, that'll be like super helpful.
yep. And so like anyone who's listening out there, remember if you want to take the DP, you got to be ready to devote your time. Like to devote.
Yeah, I agree. Like you will have to make like a certain amount of sacrifices, but don't sacrifice everything for DP. Like don't sacrifice all your time for it, because that's just going to lead to burnout, and that'll make things a lot worse. Make sure you're doing things you like as well. Make sure you aren't getting distracted as well.
Yeah, and like even if we just started DP and we are already seeing the effects. I can only just imagine what our seniors are going through with all the extended essays and the IA submissions.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
so it's very important to have a good timetable and uh
Yeah.
a good revision schedule.
The thing is, I feel like most people waste time in really the friction of getting yourself to study. So, like, I'm going to study now, but then you grab your phone, right? Then after grabbing your phone, okay, wait, you realize you have to study again, like 5 minutes later. And then you say you can study now, and then you go back to your phone. So, like, during this process itself, I feel like people lose so much time. And then afterwards, they say they don't have any time. So, it's really important to be self-disciplined, and it'll really help you in the long term. I know like a lot of people say you have to be self-disciplined, blah blah blah, but it's really going to help you, because more self-disciplined you are, the earlier you get things done, and that's just going to give you like more room to do things you actually like towards the end of the day.
Exactly. Especially since without only studying won't get us really much anywhere. Having
I
a
agree, yeah,
hobby is very important too.
because if you do only studying, like then your depth is going to go down, because you're going to get so bored, and if your depth goes down, nothing's getting into you, which is not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and
Really
then
have to get in depth.
there's a lot of risk of some mental health stuff. So
Mhm. Yeah,
so
they don't get into burnout or hustle culture. Like those are two things you should be like really cautious of when you're trying to study long hours. So make sure you're taking breaks and doing things you like. It's really helpful. Like
yep.
taking walks, like we said.
Yeah, whatever you like,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
it has to be like something which refreshes you properly.
Mhm. Yeah, I wouldn't say like once you're done studying, go game 2 hours. Like, like that even might burn you out, because like you need to have like some activity.
Yeah,
So
and it's even hard to get back in. Like you game 2 hours, you want to go back study. It's gonna be very hard to push yourself.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
You're like
So now,
you're
yeah. So I was thinking about. Oh, wait, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you two are going.
No, no, go ahead.
Yeah, so like yeah, it's very important to physical activity is something very important. So
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people overlook it. They're like, "Oh, wait, if I don't exercise today, I can study for longer." But it's not good in the long term, because that's something I realized, because I say I didn't leave my house like right once the pandemic started. I probably didn't leave my house for like 6 months, and that was very very unhealthy, because uh, and I'm really not gonna be able to get that reset in my mind. Like I said, plus like I'm gonna have no motivation. I'm not getting fresh air. So yeah, it's really not good for you. So make sure you get some amount of physical activity, like no excuse. Make it a non-negotiable thing. Like try to do at least a little bit every day.
Yep. Even 10 minutes. You just start with just 10 minutes.
Exactly. Even 10 minutes is like enough.
Yep.
Agree.
And especially one more thing which I absolutely don't recommend is don't like study everything the day before your exam. Like when you
Yeah,
have the exam,
don't cram. Yeah.
it's very important to like be prepared for your exam syllabus way ahead of it, and then have
Exactly. Yeah. You should
and
really
like
be studying in the. You should like you should really be studying for a longer amount of time. Like as in don't cram everything towards the end, but like spread it over a longer period. Like this comes back to like what we were saying about revising whatever you did the same day. Because if you do that, then there's lesser to study right before the test, and you can just keep practicing, and that helps a lot.
especially yep, and also like main thing about studying is getting knowledge in the end, and so like
Yeah,
cramming
applying it.
mostly you'll forget everything by the time you move
I
on.
agree. Yeah, the thing is, like cramming might be okay for like if you have an exam right after it, but usually when you cram, you forget everything afterwards. And if you're doing a curriculum like IB, that wouldn't work out because you have exams after 2 years. So
And
yeah,
they test your knowledge from the start of 11th.
exactly. They test you from 11th. So
Yep.
okay, I had another point about when I was talking about distractions providing nourishment. You should also be aware that not all distractions provide nourishment. So you have to know where that boundary ends. Like let's say I'm going out for a walk, right? Uh, say you really like being outside, or maybe you saw some of your friends outside. You talk to them, and then come back home after 2 hours. So if you're spending 2 hours outside, that's again not the best thing. Like I'd say, know your limits, and there's a
Yep.
certain boundary between nourishment and distraction. So let's say I walk outside for 30 minutes. That's giving me nourishment. Definitely, it's not a distraction. If you're going out for 2 hours, I'd say like a big part of it is you being distracted.
Yep. It's important
Yeah.
not to get carried away.
Yeah. You should like learn to say no. Like let's say your friend asking you to watch NBA finals or something, right? Tell them you can watch it next year.
Or or it's up to you. Like you have to make the proper planning. But like, if you
Yeah.
want to really watch something like that, you gotta lay out your schedule in such a way that you actually
Yeah,
have time
definitely.
for it. Cut
Yeah.
across some other stuff with you.
Yeah,
And
you should try to make time for it. The thing
yep.
is, if you like, usually for anything you like, you make time for it. Like, usually, at least from what I've experienced.
Yeah, exactly. And so make sure like that's why it's very important. Like pick the subjects you like to. So like you actually like going
Yeah,
studying.
yeah, exactly. That's so true. Because then you're not. If you pick subjects you don't like, then you're just not going to be motivated.
Yep, it's gonna become more of a burden, like for
I
pushing
agree.
yourself.
Yeah.
And yep,
Like,
that's gonna diminish your productivity. And
definitely. Yeah. And like studying will just become more dreadful if you do that. Like if you choose what you like, or let's say you had to take it because it was a requirement for whatever job you want to do. Like for medicine, you have to take biochemistry. Let's say you don't like chemistry. Uh, you should you should really try to research about the subject and try to find interesting things about it so you can do your own research besides whatever you're doing for school.
yep, at least you try building the interest. Obviously,
Exactly. Yeah.
like a lot of courses do have entry requirements, which is
Yeah.
and you may be
That's what
forced
I
to
did
take
with
subjects.
CS. Yeah.
So yep, very important to try to find your interest within that subject.
Yeah. Like I did the same thing with CS. I didn't really like it too much at the start. Like I did like it, but I didn't like it too much. But then I got a little bit into game development. Like I saw how like people like made games and how the code and everything. Like I didn't really understand the code, but I really got interested into this idea of game development. So that's what sort of sparked my interest into CS afterwards. So you should really find something you like within that field and research about it. So you build your own interest and try not to make it forceful, because anything you force yourself to do in the end of the day, it just gets boring, in my opinion.
Yep.
Sometimes it's needed, but don't do it all the time.
Yeah. After all, it is all again coming back to productivity, lowers it.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've been talking a lot.
Yeah. So should we
Uh,
like?
let's see. Is there anything else I can think about? Oh wait, I just thought of one thing. This is something like more external. Try to
Go
keep your
ahead.
study space clean. This isn't something I've been doing recently. My study space looks like horrible right now. But I'd say if you say like 1 month ago, it's been pretty clean. Like 1 month ago and before that. But yeah, try to keep it clean, because then you just feel a lot better when you start studying.
Yeah, you
That's
feel
how
a
I
bit
thought.
happy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's and your mind just feels like if your study space is dirty, your mind feels just cluttered and irritated.
yep, I agree. Yeah,
And also
make sure. Yeah,
yeah,
go
go
ahead.
on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, also like I one thing I like I do personally is like before I started DP itself, I searched for a few sites which like many of my seniors recommended for like all the subjects
That's
I've
a good
taken.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
like for
They
reference,
like
this
really
is
motivate you.
motivation, and they're very helpful too. Like there are
Yeah,
sites such as
you're going to
Revision
be
Base.
ahead of everyone, because everyone else finds out about these websites like after it starts, like once they're 3 months in. But like if you have it before, it's really going
Yep.
to be helpful for like the first couple of tests.
Yeah, it's very important to like talk to your seniors and find out about their own experience of going through the AIB.
Yeah, like really, this isn't something I've really been doing a lot, because this is my first year at a new school, so I don't really know too many seniors. But if you do have the opportunity to, you should definitely do it, because I'd say most of them are kind. They're not going to be like, "Hey, I'm not going to help you." Like no one says that. They're mostly going to help you, so you should really ask them like what they wish they would have done for their first year or whatever year they were in, and that's really going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, it's very helpful to have your information sorted out, what you need to focus on,
Yeah,
what you can lay
exactly.
back on. Because I this
Asking
is
this type. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
like the advice I got from most of my seniors was try to start off with your cast and just like slowly finish off the requirements and start itself.
I
So like
agree. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
you have more time for your extended
Mhm.
essay and IAs in the 12th grade, which is very
Mhm.
crucial.
So you have like college essays after that. Everything
Yeah,
becomes essays in 12th, man.
yeah,
You have to write an essay for like everything.
yeah. College applications and all that.
Yeah. That like, because of all that, it gets like really important for you to like manage your time well as well.
Yeah, time management. It's like a skill. It's just a skill to be able to
I agree.
project what you're able to do it and how much
Yeah.
time you can spend on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like when setting goals, it's important to like you underestimate. You actually overestimate how much you're about to do. Like if
Yeah,
you're thinking,
definitely.
like I
100%.
think if I think I can finish this bio chapter in like 45 minutes, probably estimated I will take 1 hour 15 minutes. So like I have time in case
Yeah,
I do.
exactly.
Exactly. Yep.
Like if you have an interruption or you're not just able to focus, it's definitely going to help. And also, you're not you're not gonna feel like um, okay, like let's
Pressure.
say yeah, you're not gonna feel pleasure, obviously. And let's say like you finish your work even before time, and that's just gonna give you more free time towards the end of the day, which is obviously better.
And it makes you more happy that I actually did something ahead of what I planned. This is actually a bit more
Exactly. Yeah.
motivating.
Like the best thing is to like make a plan, and once you complete it before time, like that feeling is so good.
Yeah, I like that
Feels
feeling
really
a
good.
lot.
Yeah. Another thing I found really useful, which I don't know if others would do it because this is quite extreme. So I sleep at 9 p.m. and I get up at 5 a.m. I've been doing this for around a month now, and I usually study at 5 a.m. Because like my mind's really fresh then, and towards the evening it sort of wears down. So you should really like find that time when you're able
Yeah,
to study. Like there's this thing
I
called early birds and night owls, right? I'm pretty
I
sure.
personally am a night owl, so
Yeah, exactly. So you find a time when you're in the zone and really try to space out most of your studying then.
also like when you wake up so early and like or you study till a bit late in the night, most of your family members would have gone to sleep.
I
So
agree.
like
Yeah,
so like
they're
the
like zero distractions. Yeah.
zero noise, so easier to focus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should really figure out whether you're productive like early in the morning or at night.
Yeah, that's very important.
Mhm. Okay. What else do we
I
have?
think I covered most of what I wanted to say.
Okay. Okay.
What I do until now could change because
Yeah, obviously.
IB is very dynamic. So
Yeah. There are few other things I do, but I'm just trying to think how to put this in words. Okay, yeah. One thing. So I personally listen to music when I study. This may not be the best thing for everyone. Like for me, I would definitely say music would probably reduce my depth by like a bit, like the depth I get into when I study. But it's not a huge amount. And the thing is, music allows me to study for a longer time. And I did say always choose depth over time. But the thing is, if you're able to go into like max depth for only 5 minutes, that's again not useful, right? I'd rather have like medium high depth for 25 minutes. So that's sort of what I do.
yeah, it's very important for to be balanced and like so that
Yeah,
you can actually cover what you.
exactly. Like you can go really deep for 5 minutes, but there's not really much you can do for 5 minutes. But if you're able to get to reasonable depth, right, for a longer amount of time, you'll still be able to get work done.
Yeah, like obviously it's unacceptable to do one page in 1 hour, but uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
like balancing it out, like measuring what you need to do in this much time is very important.
Yeah, I agree.
So, you have any other tip?
Yeah, I need to I need to think a little bit. Um. Okay. Yeah. I thought of another one. So when you're studying, especially for exams, I know a lot of people do this. They just like isolate themselves, and I'd say don't do that, especially if you like talking to people. You shouldn't do that. It's not better in the long run. Like it's, it's it's okay to do it to a certain extent. I'd say like let's say I'm not going to talk to anyone in the morning. Like I feel like that's okay, but like if you feel like talking to people actually changes your mood and might motivate you to study even, you should probably just do it for 30 minutes to the extent that it provides nourishment and it's not a distraction like
Yeah,
exams for you.
you should explain it to the people you're talking to. I only have this much time, but I would like to speak to you. Like tell them like
Exactly.
you're wishing, and
Yeah.
but set your boundary with them.
I agree. Yeah. Plus, it's not like you're gonna have to do this every day because like exam time we're definitely gonna have to study more than normally. So
And other thing which I see in IB is we do have a lot of exams. I have
I
exams
agree,
almost
man.
every
Like
2 to 3 months. So
Mhm. Like, the start of my school was like really hard, especially because we had exams. We had a first test 3 weeks after we reopened, and then we had more exams 3 weeks after that. So we had only a 3 week gap.
yeah,
Uh,
it's very
it gets hard, but if you make sure you're using like the right study tips, like we said earlier, like I'm not saying what we say is right and will work for everyone. So you should find what works for you. But if you follow what works for you, then you should usually be good. Like especially if you have like back to back exams, like we were talking about.
yeah. You should. It's important to find yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Find what works for you because like what works for us may not work for you. Like I know this guy studies in 4 hour blocks, right? Like I actually recommended that to him. I used to do it, but then I found it was a little bit inefficient for me, so I went to 60-10 Pomodoro. But yeah, you should really find what works for you. 4 hour blocks. Uh, 4 hour blocks works for him, then he should definitely go ahead and keep doing it.
And there's some people who are just like retain immediately what they learn in class. So like,
Oh
so
yeah, those guys are gifted, man. They're
yeah,
gifted.
so like
Oh wait, and I just thought of one thing. So for language learning, or actually for any theory-based thing in general, make flashcards. They really help a lot. Um,
you can use
so
Anki. Anki is a very good flashcard
yeah,
for like
Anki,
learning how
Quizlet,
to use.
and Note.
Yep.
Yeah,
Learning how to
really good.
figuring how to use Anki will be very helpful.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the thing is, so there's a study technique called active recall, where you revise one thing like one day after, and then you do it 3 days after, 7 days after, 1 month after, something like that. So when you keep revising it like that, it gets into your long-term memory. So what I do is I go through like my Spanish flashcards every alternate day. That gets it into my long-term memory. And Anki, what it actually does is, if you're good at doing some flashcards, it pushes them a little more back. Like it gives you like a 1 week gap. And let's say you're really bad at one flashcard, it just gives it the next day. So it automatically like enforces this active recall thing. So that's a huge advantage with Anki.
Yep. Very helpful.
But one thing with Quizlet, so this is another flashcard app. Uh, Quizlet has like, so you can literally make tests out of your flashcard, which I find really cool. And there's even like one game. So like if you're really demotivated, you can probably go with Quizlet because it's really good. But Anki is like a lot of people who do medicine use Anki mainly because of the active recall.
Yeah.
So
And like also like yeah, also I think it's best to find out what you like to study from. I personally find it's very easy for me to study through
yeah, that's true.
YouTube videos. I
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
like instead
Even
of
like,
going
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
through a long text of my textbook, I just
That
put a
makes sense.
YouTube video and then it just gets into my brain better.
Yeah, I agree. You should really find what works for you. Like even with textbooks, like there's so many textbooks, especially like for IB. So you should find what works for you. Like I usually just use the Cambridge textbook because they don't have too much text. I've opened the Oxford textbooks as well, but it just feels like they have too much text for me. But yeah, you should definitely just find what textbook works for you and what study techniques work for you, and you should keep doing that.
Yep, very very useful.
Yep. And there's this other thing I was thinking about. So there's like certain research that says highlighting is not as effective as flashcards, right? Uh, but in my opinion, like okay, this may be true, but like if you feel like highlighting actually helps you, like just keep doing it because that's fine. Don't like switch to flashcards or something you're uncomfortable doing just because of scientific research. Because I'm sure there's like research both ways, right? Like there's some music saying that music helps studying, and there's some saying it doesn't. So I'm sure there's something like that with highlighting as well. But like if you feel like it's actually like highlighting your notes actually helps, then keep doing it.
Yep.
Like regardless of what other people think works and doesn't work, you should probably just keep doing
Finding yourself is very important again. Reiterating that point.
it.
Yep.
Okay. Do I have anything else?
I'm done. Like I have nothing
Yeah.
more.
Okay, well, I guess we're done then. That went pretty okay considering this was our first episode. There's a little bit of stuttering, but that's fine. I'm sure we'll get better at it once we keep doing it. Anything you'd like to say for the outro?
Just want to say that, like what we gave is purely based on our own 11th grade perspective. Obviously, it is probably too
I
early to
agree.
like. You could say it's too
Hmm.
early for us to, but this is just our own opinion on what we did to them.
Yeah.
and
definitely
it
just.
actually worked for me too.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yep.
just find what works for you, and yeah, keep doing it. And
Yep.
yeah, I guess we're done with the episode, and we'll see you guys in the next one. We hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, see ya.
See ya. Oh wow.